Hey people, what's up? What's up? Okay, I wanted to talk about something here. This is Farm Simulator 19. I do have 22, but my computer, the graphics, it doesn't like to play and crashes, so I'm still playing 22. Let's say you get to the end of let me hop out here, that engine running. Say you get to engine of field, and you got trees in the way. Well, you can go up in here to forestry equipment and buy like the Scorpion and all these up in here. I really like using the Scorpion King right here. But the cranes, these things here are a pain in the yazoo to try to work, especially with the physics and trees go flying everywhere and it's like, oh my god, I give up. And you don't want, sit there with a chainsaw and then you can always, say you go up in here, you go over here, where is it, miscellaneous, I believe it is. Yeah, you can get the wood chipper, drop it down, but you're going to spend $72,000 on it and $1,000 for a chainsaw. And it's going to give you a little bit if you can throw it up in there. On this end, they'll sell it to the sawmill as bits and pieces. Or you can go to, wrong one, I'm sorry. Go to forestry machines all the way to the end and get this little lizard thing. This thing right here. Yeah, buddy. I love this thing. This is the default. You can change the color. Mine's blue, but you can change it to whatever color you want up in here. Anyway, so it's a price of, depending on what you're changing the color to. It's going to change a little bit. Let's go back. Let's do this again. At default color, it's $190,000. Thought it was a little cheaper than that to buy it. If you want to lease it, yeah. But then you got every day you got to pay, and how many operating hours and your base cost. And it's like, I'll just buy the thing. It'll come in handy. So that's what I did. Now, get rid of that chainsaw. So like I said, I painted mine blue. Now it will not get rid of brush and stubble like this stuff here, all this tall stuff, but what it will do, and we're going to use this area, this is on the upper northwest, the Pacific Northwest 19 map, and I just cleared out all of this and stuff around down here where these trees were and these here, and this opening up this way, I cleared off those trees already. So just kind of opening up a little bit. I don't want these trees here, and I want to get rid of them. I'm going to hit B to turn the motor on. Now, I should say this real quick before we get started. Stop. Your mouse is up and down, and then left and right works the head. Okay, so I just have it all the way forward and all the way up, and hit B to turn on. And boom, it'll get rid of the tree. Now every now and then you'll come up with one that's got a stump in there, in which case you just lower it down, adjust the head accordingly, and drive back over it, and it'll eat up that stump. That's what this is actually designed for. Or any wood chips that's on the ground. Now you must own the land in order to do this. I own all the spare land in this thing. So I want to clear out all these along the edge of this field so that when my tractors come out, I don't get that little helper A, B, E, Z, LGB, whatever. Sorry. I don't get all these little sayings talking about it has stopped. So I'm going to come down here. And we're just going to clear it. Whoops, see, I can't do that one. I don't own the land, so I can't do that one. I thought I'd have. There you go. It did it. That was odd. Okay. So see, I thought I owned all the land. Yeah, I think the top one ends at G or H, and then I think it starts back over. But yeah, you can get rid of all these trees. It doesn't matter whether they're birch, if they're white, if they're whatever color. Even the dark, thick ones that you normally can't use the Scorpion King on, this thing will just eat it right up. I bumped into it. You got to remember to get it up in here though. So I just got mine raised all the way up. And we're going to get all these. Like those way over there on the far right, it'll get rid of those too. Whoops. I just want to open all this up so when I drive up into ConAgra here, or whatever the name is, Agro or something, I'm not having to fight to try to see through trees and everything. Now here's a classic example. That one right there, it'll get it as well. You try to get that with the Scorpion King or something, it'll say it does not, that type of tree is not supported. You can't cut it with a chainsaw. But then it goes down on the ground, and then you got to cut it up with this thing as well as the stump. It's just so much easier and faster just to do it like this here. Watch out for the suicide train. I don't know why it's telling me that, but okay. Probably because of the train track right there. I don't know. I'm going to show you one other thing here real quickly. And again, sometimes it'll get stuck on you and you'll see wood chips flying. All you gotta do is just adjust, but you gotta make sure you hit it right. There we go. Take out these last two. See, now I've just opened up the end of this field. My tractor's got plenty of room to turn around at, and I'll just turn it off again. And I can now drive my truck down through here. And going up in, my tractor, my truck, whatever, going up into this agro building down here. Now, make sure that you save this every so often. If you mess up and you cut it down, you can always just quit the game and go back in. It'll be right back wherever you last saved it at. Okay? Now, there's one other thing I wanted to show you. This thing will not do anything for these bushes like this right here. It won't do anything for that. So, how do you get rid of that? Well, you press P again. We're going to go to landscaping. I'm going to pull down the F1 menu. Now you'll see, if you press the C Charlie key, it'll change. You see that round and square, okay? To change the strength or the size of it, not strength, the size, use your arrow keys, your left and right arrow keys to change the size, okay? And lastly, you want to press X. Now watch the lower right hand corner. You see down there, lower right hand corner? Press it. Now we're going to texture instead of actually changing the size. Using the regular, sorry, there's a plane going by overhead. This one has a plane. There we go. Okay, so you use tab to switch between the different textures that you want. Okay, so I'm finding there's a good grassy texture. WASD is your forward, backward, left, and right keys. Q turns this way, E turns the other way. You can press left control and Q. No, it's left. Okay, shift. I'm sorry. Left shift and Q or left shift and E, and it will turn faster. Now this is in sculpting mode, so remember, whatever you do here, whether it's in sculpting or in terraforming, you cannot undo it. So be careful. So I'm going to turn this to grass. Look at that, all that's gone. Oops, I got a little on the road, but that's alright. These bushes are now gone just by doing this right here. Do little by little, and then, where's it at? There we go. Then save. Okay? This way, if you mess up, you're okay. You don't have to go all back in. You cannot, once you go in there, once you terraform or paint like this, you cannot undo it. So be very careful on how much you take off at a time. Outside of just little bits here. Oh yeah, you cannot do where trees are, so it will not let me come up in here. You can't until you get rid of the trees. So that's how you get rid of these little bushes here. Now, one of the things you can do, and I'm going to make sure I save this real quick. Save the game. Okay, turn that off. Go back into here. Now, one of the things you're going to want to get under trailers here. No, yeah. All the way over here to miscellaneous. This little roller here. I already have one. This one right here. This is the only other way to try to return things back. Now, if you're terraforming up and down, I don't believe it will change that back. It's supposed to, but I don't think it does. I know texture it will. you actually hook up on this thing with your tractor and you drive and you pull it to where you want. Then you hit the X to unfold, release there, and you'll come around and this will drop down, the tires will go up, and you hook onto here and you'll pull it this way. So wherever this here rolls over, it will return it back to the base map texture. Again, I'm not sure about terraforming, if it'll return that back to how it was or not. I don't think so. That may be something I may have to try. I learned about this while I was on Raven Brook, and where you mess up sometimes, you can come up in here and you're texturing, and this, like I did, I covered up the road. I just had to go back in and I just did the texture here and went back in and kind of fix that. But you can use that to kind of drive over. Use your mouse wheel to zoom in and out, but it's also going to change the angle. So now I want to try to return this road back. I'm going to kind of go like this. Let's make sure it's smaller. Just kind of go back over it like that. That's the way I do it, to kind of fix. But everything that you do, you're paying for out of your money. So I started to say Linden's because I used to play Second Life. I don't anymore, but that's how I do it, and kind of just try to kind of get back to how it was. Now you can do this with the circle and pressing the C and do it like this. But yeah, if you want to get rid of bushes, this is how you get rid of them. Hit the tab key, will get it switched on around to a more grassier texture, kind of blend it in here. And see, and these will disappear here. Oops, zoom in a little bit, not that far. And that's how you get rid of these things here. And really good to use around the edges of fences. Sometimes you gotta kind of try to get up in there. Whoops, I'm working against myself here. So like to make areas where the fencing is at a little easier, the gates, just do it like that. That will get rid of all these here bushes. It's the only thing that I've found that actually gets rid of them. Now when you use that roller thing, it will not put these bushes back in. That I do know for a fact. I've tried. Come on now, shit, what's going on here? Sometimes it's hard to get the angle because as you adjust the mouse, it also adjusts it in a way that's sometimes a little weird. I'm going to change that back to the square, and I can make it bigger. There we go. See, that makes it so much easier to work with, having it bigger, but it also changes your palette size, your brush size here. I mean, how well it works. So you got to be careful. Like I said, it will not work in the trees. You cannot terraform where trees are. You have to take them down first. So again, exit, and make sure you save. The only other way is don't save it, quit, and come back in. That's the only other way to get back. So this thing right here, the lizard, this is an awesome piece of equipment. It doesn't drive very fast, but take down these trees, get them the heck up out your way, so you can come up in here and see clearly. Got plenty of room for your tractors to come up in here and work and be able to turn around. Great for working on the ends of fields, especially if you don't want to deal with chainsaws and grappling cranes and all that garbage. Alright, that'll about do it.